am Shira Wolf-Cohen. I am a founding partner at EduConfident, which is an educational consulting firm, and we're working to really build the capacity of schools and communities to address some of the upcoming issues as we head into next year. Also joined by representatives of CTI Technical Services, and so I'm going to let Eric say hello and welcome you as well.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Eric Eisen. I'm the CEO of CTI Technical Services. I've been doing IT services in the education community for probably the better part of 20 years.
We really are looking to gather thoughts on your concerns for planning, what you're thinking about for the upcoming year, and really what's kind of keeping you up at night. We want to talk about areas of planning and concerns within those areas of topics that we came up with. So we've been talking to a lot of people, and it seems like the concerns surround accessibility and equity, social presence and how we build relationships, that delivery of content, how we're collecting student artifacts of learning, how we're managing hardware, data management, security, and also what that looks like for our staff, and how do we ensure that their caseloads and what they're doing is well balanced.
My name is Joanna Hightower. I'm a founding partner of EduConfident and have been an educator for over 15 years, served as a teacher, as a school leader, and as a school CEO and superintendent. So I'm really excited to engage in this conversation today with you to learn what keeps you up at night when you're thinking about the upcoming school year. Accessibility was a big word, right? And making sure that kids had access was, an immediate, maybe the number one goal. When you think about accessibility, what barriers come to mind now when you think about the upcoming school year, considering some of the work that schools have done this spring? What do you think about accessibility going forward?
To me, it's more about having someone there to help the students, right? Especially in the lower grades, in the K-4 community, they need the parent. They need someone who's going to be able to sit there and someone who can help them with the work.
I was thinking about my special education students who need to use text or speech to text, and like we had a kid who needs speech to text, and then his headphone jack got screwed up, and he lives in the Northeast and we're in West Philly, and so just how do we get him a loaner, and how do we make sure he can, because he literally cannot do any work unless it's speech to text. He doesn't type at all. So
so what are conversations that your leadership teams are having right now about how do we build that school culture and community without having the benefit of face-to-face rapport?
When I think about this question, I think about it in regards to just two areas, right? Instruction and relationship building. I'm not confident that there is anything that lays out what high quality instruction looks like from a virtual standpoint. The second piece is relationship building. My teachers don't know yet, but on the first week, they're going to be required to do a town hall meeting with their students and a town hall meeting with their families during that.
Maslow before Bloom. I'm telling you, if you build a relationship with the students, you are good. I'm so happy. Again, the school year, I was able to set that structure.
Where are leadership teams now on planning for the delivery of quality content? Or is that just not even on the table right now?
We had weekly data meetings, weekly PLCs with different groups of teachers, and allows for the teacher to talk, right? Not just attendance or how many people showed up. What's really working well inside of your classroom, where the students responded to and the teachers responded to. I think after going through that process for a month, we actually got a chance to get some good resources.
All of us are pioneering this new experience because none of us have really had to encounter a pandemic that shuts our school down, and now we're teaching remotely using technology. And so what I took from the school year that just ended is it was kind of like triage, where we had this emergency, we kind of had to make do with what we had, and it didn't really matter, especially once PSSAs were canceled. So you could kind of just say, all right, let's embrace the moment, teach what we can, and even if they don't cross that finish line compared to what the traditional standards are, at least we got them across the finish line.
Students are returning to schools, virtual or actual school buildings this fall, with an unmeasured amount of learning loss. So what aspects of collecting artifacts of learning and student assessment are schools working on to gather the data needed to make data-driven and informed decisions for students.
There are a few online assessment databases that we use and collect data to assess where students are initially. We start that out in the beginning of the school year. And I like to be able to do that both in literacy and in math initially.
The tech side of me, right, thinks tools. And so, you know, part of the conversation, if we're going to be remote and thinking about writing samples and thinking about analyzing that data, is thinking about how can we, if we're not in the classroom, how do you collect that in a way that's not overwhelming to look? The problem with digital too is is the kid a bad writer, or they just not know how to type? Right. And so, you know, you have those problems too of digital literacy that impede on remote assessments. Right.
So going into technology, you know, what areas of hardware, data management, and most importantly, security are you worried about?
No. I know we're not ready. So, you know, we find it interesting when the internet goes down, or when the databases at central office shut down, or when the email shuts down. So we are definitely not ready for the demand.
One of the things that drove me crazy was seeing these teachers being like, look at my class. And they like post these screenshots of their Zoom classes on social media. And they're, you know, it's like, really? Like, what are you doing? The other thing, you know, in the district and in schools in general, if you get E-rate funding, you have a content filter. But when kids are at home, there's no content filter.
How can we, or what are you doing to ensure that teachers and staff don't get burned out?
Just making sure that teachers had information, that they were part of the conversation, that they were part of the solutions that we had to come up with in order to be able to address how to best serve students.
Remote learning had me feel like a new teacher. Just show up, do your best. If you don't get that much involvement, you know, engagement, that's okay. As long as you show up and do what you got to do, you are good.
We want to start finding solutions, and we want to start providing things that make sense for people. And we know that there's lots of higher level discussions happening, but we want to make sure that those of us that are in the schools and on the ground are getting what we need to, both technically and educationally. So
remember, we're your partners in education, EduConfident, and CTI Tech Services.
Say that my message is for all of you as a reminder that we're only human. And as humans, we are also animals who adapt, and hopefully us being lifelong learners, we can kind of take in what we've all experienced and then become newer and better teachers moving forward.
I guess my message really is like 2021, please get here. Oh my goodness. That's it. I'm just waiting for 2021.
Wow. School year 2021, interesting. Definitely strengthened me, like making me stronger, and I'm looking forward to the next school year. And fellow educators, take care of yourself.
It's all about the kids, y'all. So long as we're making the best decisions for the kids, we can't go wrong.